My name is Andre Spicer. I was born and raised in Compton. Been here my entire life. That'll make us 43 years.
What neighborhood or block did you grow up on? Oh my gosh. Not,
Erica trying to get me in here and represent neighborhoods.
you want me to ask you something else?
No, that's fine. That's have you stuck like a deer headlight. Okay. No, I grew up on the east side of Long Beach Rosecrans, um, District 2. You know what? Let me go back to answer that question as to where I grew up. I mean, my family is from Compton in general. So my grandmother was on the west side in Richland Farms, but my mom was on the east side. So my childhood was split between both of them. Both of them had homes there before I was born. So I spent a lot of time on the east side, a lot of time on the west side, in Richland Farms. And I guess one of my fondest memories um, actually comes out of Richland Farms, and it was really just my parents having horses. Both my parents had horses. Um, they actually their horses had a horse, so I had a horse. So I had my own horse at probably like 4 years old. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to move around. My siblings were probably jealous of me because they knew what they were doing and I didn't. But yeah, that was kind of like my fondest memories. Really in Compton is really agricultural background. My day-to-day life in Compton as a teen varied. Just depends on the time of the season. Summertime, we were like active with the pool parties, the water fights, the 4th of July activities and parties. Where in the wintertime, it was for me, it was more about sports, football, baseball, basketball, just kind of being active. So I think that yeah, in Compton growing up here, it was everything was community. Like you knew your neighbors, you knew the people that lived around the corner. Everybody
You don't
like
have to
functioned
sugarcoat
together.
it.
Huh?
I said you don't have to sugarcoat it.
No, I'm not
I
sugarcoating
want you to tell
nothing.
like the good and the bad.
Oh man, I only
Yeah.
talk about the good. That's all I'm talking about, baby. We ain't talking about no bad because it ain't dangerous out here.
I want to, I want people to understand the growth of the
Nah,
city.
nah. In all seriousness, like I think that people tend to, Compton has its own name, and when people ask, about the background and growing up in Compton, you anticipate hearing the negativity. You anticipate hearing, oh, well, it was drug infested. It was, we had the gangs, we had, prostitution, and, we dealt with that. We dealt with the drive-bys. We dealt with the negativity, and that's the truth. Those things happen, and it just, for me, I guess it wasn't nothing that stood out. It was more of a way of life. It was just everyday living. So if something bad happened or negative happened, it was just another. It was a Tuesday. It was a Wednesday. And I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. Us growing immune to it or not. So when people ask, about how Compton was for me, it was home. So yeah, you had those negative things that happened, but you also had the the community aspect, the knowing your neighbors. You know what I'm saying? I knew all the seniors on my block. Like they all looked out for me. I knew all the homies that lived on the block. They always looked out. Um, so it was a sense of community. It was a sense of love as well. So you got a nice little balance here in Compton. Like Compton is not just all one way. Some of the challenges I faced growing up was just positive male influences. Um, Growing up in Compton, a lot of kids in general didn't have like father figures. So for men or boys, they looked for father figures outwardly, and those images weren't necessarily the most positive. So you tend to want to be like the street hustler that was down the street, or the pimp that you seen that had all the ladies, or uh, just a tough guy on the block. So you'll tend to gravitate to whatever you thought in your mind that represented power or manhood or anything like that. What do I miss about the old Compton? Um, Community, networking. Like now you can like not know who your neighbors are. Like you can literally come up on the block, be on the block for 5, 6 years and don't know the person that live across the street from you. Um, when I was growing up, that was kind of weird. You kind of knew everybody on your block. You knew everybody that lived around there. You knew the community. I think that when we start like living like living on the internet, video games, stop coming outside, not crossing the street. When I say cross the street, I'm talking about the main streets. Like, not crossing over to see who was on the other side of Rosecrans, who on the other side of Long Beach Boulevard, because you just stayed in your pocket. So I think that that's what I miss the most about Old Compton is really just getting outside and being a part of the community. What inspired me to serve as a council member? I had no intentions on ever being in government. This is not what I anticipated doing with my life. I think realizing that everything that happens in this building behind us, which is this Compton City Hall, is a direct reflection of what's going on in the streets. So if you're looking at like people, all the things that we complain about, whether it be the gang violence, whether it be public safety, whether it be uh, businesses, human trafficking, homelessness, all that starts from in City Hall. And when I realized that, then I looked at the numbers, being that there was 100,000 people here in Compton, the average voter was 65, but the average age was 34. I realized my demographic wasn't engaging. So if I wanted to be a part of change, I had to be that. I had to be the change that I wanted to see. I felt like I had an influence for my demographic in this city. So me getting involved in politics was more or less just trying to influence my demographic to start being more civically engaged. And that civic engagement can kind of it change the direction of where the city is going. So like us being involved, it could change generations. The way I ensure everyday residents are being heard is I engage residents. I don't just talk about the stuff that I want to talk about. I don't just talk about the stuff that I'm doing or uh, the safe conversations. I bring everybody into all the conversations, and I think the only way that you get people engaged civically is if you touch something that they're dealing with. I think the reason why young people don't get involved in politics is because they don't feel like uh, there's no representation for them in that field. So once you start to have those dialogues or you start engaging people, you get other different points of views, and for me, that's how you get people engaged.
You just answered my next question.
Ah,
I was going to ask you, how do young people get involved?
yeah. But no, I think that and getting young people involved is them realizing what it is that I do that affects them. Mm-hmm. So one of the big things that I did was do the expungement clinics, and that was important to me because that's a direct reflection or a direct effect on what I do here that can help you. Like if I do something else like fix your street, it might take me 6-8 months. That might not really resonate with you the same as it would if I can help you expunge your records, if I can help you get employed, if I can help you get into a house. Then you can see, dang, him being there actually benefited us as well. And so that's how you get people engaged. You show them their value in that system. Compton is full of creatives. Um, whether it be artistic creatives, whether it be sports creatives, um, you know, um, just so many different types of creatives, and there's so much art and pain and love and inspiration and encouragement and hope in the city. And I think that the best way that we can express that, from what I've seen, has been through art. And that art, again, can be paint, it can be drawing, it could be music, it can be dance, it could be sports. It's all these different things, but it's artism. And it's artistic, and we can just get a chance to just get that out. We have a few programs and organizations. Like I love what Color Compton is doing as it relates to art and bringing the art community together. I love what they're doing with the art museum, the art and history museum, and just bringing the history and the art of Compton to the residents so that we know a little bit about our history in Compton. We have programs going on at different parks, skating parks. So we're doing a lot of different individual programs. Nothing that I can say that the city is doing, which for me is cool because it gives us a chance to engage the organizations and nonprofits that are already out there doing the work so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just engage them and bring them into the parks, bring them into the community. So honestly, so I don't have to reinvent the wheel. So we don't have to go over and above. It's already here. You just involve the community. My vision for Compton is to turn Compton into a tourist location. I think Compton could be a perfect place for tourism. We have so many successful people that come from here. We have so many influencers that's come from Compton. I think that people come back to Compton just to get a taste of that. So if we had people like Anthony Anderson have like a comedy store on Compton Boulevard, or we get Ava DuVernay to do like a movie theater, or we do a Compton Walk of Fame where we could highlight all the successful people from Compton. We can get a Dr. Dre to do like a skating rink. It's so many different things that we can do that will just bring attention here to Compton, and it could change the voting demographic. It can change the economic empowerment. It creates jobs, and it just brings people back here to Compton, and we give them something to see other than this beautiful monument behind us. We have a 5-year plan to fix every street in the city of Compton, which has already started. Since I got in office about 3 years ago, we were just figuring out different plans on how we could put our money in the streets, basically. And we've gotten Compton Boulevard done. We've gotten Santa Fe done. We're getting Wilmington done now. Central's been done. We're getting El Segundo. So all these different thoroughfares are getting done. Then we're going into the neighborhoods and doing the small streets. It's been potholes for about 20 years. And so you just can't expect us to knock down the potholes overnight. It's been an issue that's been ignored for a very long time. So what I can say is that, yes, we still have potholes. Yes, we still have damaged streets. But you can't say that since I've been in office that we haven't gotten a significant amount of streets repaved and redone.
Period.
Yeah, period on that. I hope that they experience safe parks. I hope they experience opportunities for growth. I hope that we experience that there's so many different avenues and ways to be successful in Compton. And I also hope that they realize that you don't have to make it out of Compton to make it, that you can make it in Compton and do something about the city that you come from. Everything. I love everything. I love the air. I love the smell. I love the people. I love the vibe. I love the bravado. I love the attitude. I love the agriculture. I love that this is a suburb by definition. We have our own water wells. We have our own college. We got our own airport. We have the railroads. We have um, agriculture. We got warehouses. We got so many different things happening in Compton. Like we have everything, and it's something to be proud about. Something to have pride in. I'm proud of our history. I'm proud that our history is bigger than just hip hop. That we have an agricultural history. That our neighborhoods are actually, for better or worse, some of these are actually named after the history in Compton. Whether it be Treetop, whether it be Fruitown, whether it be the Palmer Blocks, whether it be all these different neighborhoods, that actually has significant history in Compton before they even became that. So I think I just love everything about the city. I would love people to remember that we changed the narrative. That whatever you thought about Compton, whatever negative stereotypes that you put on Compton, that we got a chance to shine a light on the city and bring different hope, different opportunities to the people. You know what I'm saying? And just letting people know that really at the end of the day, Compton isn't dangerous. It's all love.
Any last remarks?
Up City Dre.
Thank you.